Hello, welcome to lecture number 11, where I'm going to be covering aspects of the middle game, and unfortunately these will be more of concepts than, with the openings we could cover various lines and things like that, but the middle game is probably going to be more about concepts, and then as I move into lecture number 12, we'll be able to look at annotated games and see how these concepts are applied. So in one respect, openings, there's known lines or known moves, and in games there's definitely known positions, but the middle game is such like a vast sea of possibilities that it's hard to come up with a set moves. So we're just going to review some concepts, and I know I've gotten some comments from some of you that you really don't like sort of when I just talk and don't show you a lot of things, but unfortunately that's what the middle game is. So, and I'll try to show specific examples, but first of all, let's look at I want to first cover how do we evaluate a chess position. And first I just want to go over some of the key concepts and maybe what other people have said on this. So if you really think about it, and I came up with this, I've never seen anyone else write this, but chess only really has three components to it. If you break it down to its most basic elements, one, there's the pieces, but they're all not created equal. Two, there's squares. So maybe I should say, obviously on this board here we have the queen, the king, the rook, knight, and pawns, and they're not equal because for one part their mobility is much different, and that's going to be a key component when we analyze a chess position. So getting back to this, two, there's the squares. So each one of these squares here, any one that I highlight, there's 64 squares, but not all the squares are created equal. We already know that the center squares have a high degree of value, and then by extension these squares have probably the next highest degree of value. So there's squares in chess, and then there's time. And the reason time is important is because chess is what we can term a turn-based game, meaning white moves and then black moves, and etc., etc. So since it's a time-based game, time is an element in chess. So now let's look at how others have analyzed the game of chess. So let me scroll down here. Reuben Fine, who is a famous chess player, in 1943, in his ideas behind the openings, wrote this in the introduction, that these were the five components to chess: were material, pawn structure, mobility, king safety, and combinations. So he broke down to analyzing a chess position in the five key factors. How about the next person that I want to use? Yasser Seirawan, in his video, I think it was called Pro Chess, in 1987, and then in 2002 it was released on DVD. I happen to have the DVDs. He breaks down analyzing a chess position into four factors: force, which you can almost consider material, or it is material, pawn structure, space, and time. And then my next person is Jeremy Silman. In 1999 he released The Amateur's Mind, and pretty sure he released Assessing Your Chess. Before that, I happen to have the second edition, and the third edition, which I saw in the bookstore, is like twice as thick, but I have and used the second edition. And he broke down assessing a chess position into 8 different factors: initiative, material, pawn structure, lines and squares, minor pieces, development, and space. And then in a Chess Life article, I think it was Dana McKenzie who, hopefully that was his name, reviewed these and came up with the acronym IMPLODES, which stood for each one of these: I for initiative, M for material, P for pawn structure, L for lines, O for officers, so that's where the O comes from. He called the minor pieces officers. DE for development, and S for space. And then he noted that one thing missing from Silman's analysis was king safety. So he said you can analyze a chess position by implodes, or these 7, plus king safety. Now, what do I say? Well, I break it down. Just to be honest, any one of these, Fine, Reuben Fine, Yasser Seirawan, or Jeremy Silman has a great, these are great ways to analyze the position. And I recommend Jeremy Silman's book, The Amateur's Mind, for getting, a good grasp of maybe how to analyze a position. But what I'm going to do is take a similar approach to maybe some of the other ones. And how I break down analyzing a chess position is, called it Ken 2009, I break it down into 5 things: tactics, material, king safety, piece activity, and time. And what I want to do is to cover each one of these, because what do I mean by each one of these? It's easy enough to say, great, that's how you do it, but the big question is, well, what do I mean by each one of these? So I'm going to explain each one of these. And I came up with the acronym TAMAKIPT. So it's just a funny word that does not mean anything. I know implodes plus king safety is much better, but TAMAKITP for tactics, for basically the 2 first letters, because none of these are vowels. So TAMAKITP is how if you say it over enough time, over and over, you come up with a word. So let me now go into the next lecture. We'll start by reviewing what do I mean by each one of these factors. And if you disagree with me on these, at least you can get out of this lecture is that from the 3 grandmasters, Reuben Fine, Yasser Seirawan, and Jeremy Silman, what they thought constituted analyzing a chess position. If you've never seen that before, it's great information.